Real quickly, I want to show you how to speed up and slow down a video because the rest of this video I sped it up because it was almost 30 minutes long. So yeah, I cut down the time by speeding video up. But if it's going too fast for you, how can you slow down the video? Go down here, press settings, playback speed normal. So if you go down, it speeds it up. If you go above normal, it slows it down. Okay, so this is how you change the speed. Go up means you're slowing it down. Go below normal, that means you're speeding it up. All right. Okay, guys. So I'm going to show you guys. I've been looking through your PowerPoints, and I want you guys after watching this video to go back and make some edits before this is due tomorrow. So what do? This is your page. Let's go ahead and change the title page to Life in the Republic. See how I capitalize some words and not other words? So I'm going to put my first and last name, Alexis Hooker, and then class period, all of them. Now for you, please put fourth, second, third, whatever class period you're in. This is the instruction slide. Keep this slide on there until you're completely done. Then you can delete it at the end. But quite a few of you who've already turned in your PowerPoints are missing this. Animation, pictures, a theme. Be creative. Y'all are turning in black and white PowerPoints. Now, if you're working off your cell phone, please put that in the comment section when you turn in your assignments. So I know that you're working off your cell phone because I know that can be a little difficult. But those of you who are working off computers, please, spice it up, okay? Now, the next set of slides are guides telling you what should go in each slide. Only get your information from the files that I give you for this assignment. When I'm done with my PowerPoint, I'm going to delete this. So what I'm going to do to help me is look at which document to give me which information to help me do my PowerPoint. So this first one, immigrants come to the Republic. This first lesson, public lands, new settlements, scroll down. Oh, boom, here's the word immigrant. So I'm going to get my information from here. What do I need to put in my PowerPoint? 3 ways the government attracted more settlers. Now, it says you don't have to use this as your sentence starters. Just show how it's set up. Yeah, you don't have to use this, but I need 3 ways the government attracted more settlers. So I'm going to take some of this off and edit this because this is a presentation. So I don't need to still have instructions in my final presentation when I turn this in. So I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to change all of this to the same color, black. And then I'm going to delete all of this stuff because this was instructions. I don't want this to still be on my final presentation. So go back to my document. 3 ways. So 1836, they arrived. The government wanted to attract more settlers, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they distributed 37 million acres of head right grants. So I'm going to add that to my PowerPoint. 3 ways the Texas government attracted more settlers. They issued. And the part I just deleted said to do vocabulary words. So I'm going to highlight this because that was a vocabulary word in the thing because it's in bold. And if I go up, head right grant, a grant of free land issued during the Republic to the head of the household. So they issued head right grants to new settlers, giving them land. Now I'm going to go back and make sure this is not highlighted because that's not a vocabulary word. Boom. So that's my first way. It went 3 ways. So go back to my source. I'm reading. They moved to Texas because they owed debts. The Republic continued the tradition of debt protection with the Homestead Act of 1839. To bring in more people, the government hired immigration agents. What am I supposed to be putting on the slide? 3 ways they attracted settlers. So another way that they attracted settlers, they sent, what did it say? They, not sent, they hired immigration agents, agents to bring in settlers. So immigration agent, that is another vocabulary word. So I'm going to go back and highlight. And then the last way that they brought people in, if I go back up, it says a lot of people owe debt, but they had debt protection with the Homestead Act of 1839. So I'm going to put it up here. The government, I'm going to keep the sentence starter. The government provided debt protection with the Homestead Act of 1839 to protect settlers from, let's see what it protected them from. Protect settlers from having their property seized not by landowners, by creditors. So boom, I'm done with my first slide. It didn't take me that long because I paid attention to what was said in the article. Now, pay attention to how I typed out each phrase. I didn't just say they issued land grants, they hired immigrant agents, they provided debt protection. I told you what it was, and then I also explained what that thing meant. So they issued the head right grants to give people land, new land. They hired immigration agents to bring in settlers. They had debt protection, which meant that their property that they gave them would not be seized by creditors. All right, so I provided enough detail, and this no longer has the instructions on my slide because it's a presentation. Now, how am I going to get creative? First, I'm going to take this off. Immigrants came to the Republic of Texas, and then let's go up here. Hold on, click out. Let's go to slide. Apply no, change theme. And I'm gonna scroll down over here to find something that I want to make this look a little more interesting. Boom. Let's see what this does. All right. I don't really like this one, so let's change it again. That's boring too, so I'm gonna change it again. And you can change this to whichever one you prefer. I'm going to stick with this one, change the color of the text so you can better see it. When you make PowerPoints, if you have a dark background, you have to use light colors for your words. If you have a light background, then use dark colors for your words. So if I'm looking down here, I can barely see my vocabulary word, but that's because my highlight is too bright. So I'm going to change that. Well, I don't really like the blue one. So I'm going to change this again. And then I'm going to change this one again because on the light words, you can't use a light highlighter. All right, what is this doing? Let's take this off. Okay. So I'm done with this first slide. Do I want to add some pictures? Yes, I'm going to add some pictures because this looks a little boring. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in Texas immigration 1800s. Make sure you're being specific. I'm going to go to images and Payal. Let's do this picture. So I'm going to right click, copy image, go back to my PowerPoint, click off. So I'm not on any of the boxes, Control V, and there is my photo. And I'm going to just do some adjustments, moving this up so I can bring my photograph up so it's not hanging off the edge. And voila. I've done my first slide. I've added color. I made sure I wrote incomplete sentences. They gave me an answer and explained what that meant. I didn't just say head grants, immigration agents. You want to make this PowerPoint as if you had to present this to a group of sixth graders who know nothing about Texas. So if I just said head grants and immigration agents and debt protection, that really wouldn't help my sixth graders understand the content that I'm talking about. So then let's go. I'm going to skip this one. Let's go down to this one about slavery in the Republic. Now, this says you will use more than 3 bullet points. These were important topics to cover, so don't just put 3 sentences next to 1 bullet point. For every bullet point, there should be 1 important fact. So now, this is going to be pretty easy because it tells me I'm looking for specific dates and what happened. Enslaved African Americans, enslaved African Americans. So where they work, what is their life like? So I'm going to figure out which document talks about African Americans. I'm looking at number 1, new settlements and towns. Nope. Racial and ethnic minorities, yes, that might tell me something, so let's start reading it. Remember, I'm reading to find information about 1836, 1845 to 1861 in regards to what happened with African Americans. So, as more Anglo-Americans, that means Caucasians or white people, and European, white people from Europe, or, well, not really white people from Europe, but just people from Europe, immigrants came to Texas and other ethnic groups faced difficulties. Minorities who had lived in Texas for many years were sometimes pressured or forced to leave. Well, this says Anglo-Americans and Europeans. Is that the same thing as African Americans? No, that's not. So I don't need to be reading this section. So I'm just going to move. Oh, wait. I found the word African Americans. So let's see what it says. Most African Americans in the Republic were enslaved. The population of free African Americans was never very large. In the 1820s, some free African Americans had migrated to Texas, attracted by the full citizenship offered by the Mexican government. However, by 1860, only a few hundred free African Americans lived in Texas. Was 1860 part of my thing? Let's check. Nope, it had 1861 to be specific. So I'm going to read, let's see, what dates am I looking for? 36, 45, 61. 20. 40. Nope. So let's go to the next document. Again, I'm looking what happened for African Americans. So what does this say? This says farming and ranching. I don't know, but let's see if I find the word African American. Scanning. What says African Americans? Most of these farms did not rely on enslaved African Americans. So they weren't really working on farms. Keep scanning. I don't really see. Here we go. African Americans. Plantation owners typically relied on enslaved African Americans to grow and harvest crops. Most cotton plantations in Texas were located along the Colorado, Brazos, and Trinity rivers. All right, so this is something where some African Americans worked. So enslaved African Americans, where did they work? Let's go back. So down here, wrong one. Down here, it says plantation owners typically relied on enslaved African Americans. So plantations, enslaved African Americans. I'm going to take this on. Worked on plantations located near, let's see where it said those were, located near the Colorado, Brazos, and Trinity rivers. But these were only cotton plantations, so I'm not even going to include that because up here it tells me on big farms or plantations, owners grew large amounts of cash crops such as cotton and sugarcane. So this lets me know there are different types of plantations and not just cotton plantations where this and it says they were located along certain rivers. So I'm just going to put enslaved African Americans worked on plantations or huge farms. All right, so I'm still looking for what their life was like and what happened in these dates. So I'm scanning. I'm only so far seeing Anglo-American, and scanning means I'm quickly just looking sentence by sentence for keywords. Okay, here we go. Slavery in the Republic. That's going to help me. In 1836, about 5,000 enslaved African Americans lived in Texas. Is 1836 one of my dates? Yes. 1836 was the year that, how many slaves? I forgot that quick. 5,000. So 1836 was the year that 5,000 slaves were in Texas. Remember, you do not need to be copying the document word for word. Put it in your own words. So that's what I did. 1836 was the year that 5,000 slaves were, I'll say, counted to be in Texas. All right, 1845, 1861, and then what their life was like. By 1845, their numbers had increased to about 30,000. Oh, snap. I'm getting all the answers. So 1845, that number, actually, let's make this a coherent sentence. In 1845, that number increased to about 30,000 slaves. All right, 1861. Texas plantation owners also purchased enslaved workers. By 1861, about 1 in 4 Texas families held slaves. So, by 1861, owning slaves was, forgot the space, common in Texas with 1 out of 4 family owning them. Right, again, I flipped that, put in my own words. Let's go ahead and delete this box because it's in my way. All right, last thing I need to do, enslaved African Americans, what was their life like? So I'm going to continue reading this section that says slavery in the Republic. Boom. Producing large amount of cash crops relied on enslaved workers. It also built the Texas economy. In the 1850s, there was a 600% increase in cotton production. However, an economy based on slave labor may have kept Texas from developing more modern industries. Most enslaved African Americans in the Republic worked on cotton plantations, sugarcane fields, and on farms, while many adults did field work. Some handled livestock or worked as house servants. Some were skilled workers, such as blacksmiths, carpenters, and masons. A small number worked in towns as house servants or mechanics, and they were hired out as day laborers. Enslaved people worked without pay. They had to live with the knowledge that a family member could be sold at any time. They often suffered from physical and emotional abuse and were denied basic human rights. Enslaved people were provided with food, clothing, and shelter, but little else. They ate mostly corn and pork and perhaps vegetables and wild game or fish. That means they hunted wild game. They hunted small animals. They often lived in small dirt floor cabins and had little medical care. Enslaved workers tried to maintain a family and social life. Religion and music were extremely important and brought relief from their hard lives. So all of this, 1, 2, and 3, gives me more insight into what life was like. This paragraph is only telling us the economy of Texas, so how Texas made their money, and it depended on slaves. We want to know what their life was like. So you can choose how detailed you want to answer that last section. I'm going to take something from each of the last paragraphs. So from this paragraph, I'm going to talk about the type of work they did. This paragraph, I'm going to mention one thing about, how they were treated, and then the last one about music and religion being part of their social lives. So let's go back. Enslaved African Americans worked as field hands, craftsmen, or house servants. That's one sentence. Second paragraph talked about how they were treated. So they were very poor and treated unkindly. Last sentence is religion and music were important. Despite this, they used music and religion to maintain their social life and to escape. Whoa, this is spelling all type of words wrong. That was really bad. What is happening? Okay, here we go. Despite this, they use music and religion to maintain their social, and I have to change this to lives because I said they, and so I have to make life plural, lives, and to escape hardships. And not really escape hardships, let's say deal with hardships. It was like a therapy for them. So let's change this up here because now adding to my creativity animation, I'm going to change this color. Remember, on dark backgrounds, you want to use light colors. I did not use any vocabulary words because nothing is bolded in this section, so I'm not going to highlight anything. One other thing that it says in your instructions is to add some animations. How do you do that? So you're going to go to insert. Oh, hold on. Click the box. Make sure you have the box clicked. Go to insert and then go down to animation, and then you're going to click that. And so right now, it has right here fade in. And that means it's only going to fade in when I click my mouse on my computer. Now, play allows you to preview how the animation works. So it's going to already have my title, and then I have to click my mouse, and it's going to make everything come up at the same time. If you do not want everything to come up at the same time, click this right here where it says by paragraph, and then play it again and then test it out. So the title will be already up there, and then boom, click one line at a time. And then stop the preview. If you want to change the type of animation it does, instead of fading in, I can have it zoom in. So let's play and see how that looks. So the title is already up. Oh, that was fly. Okay, I'm going to do the zoom in one, and they come in one by one like that. And then boom, there's my animation. Do I want to put a picture on this one? I advise that you don't put pictures on slides that have so many words and information on it because you do not want to overcrowd your PowerPoint slide. But if you want to put a picture, I suggest putting, a small one in the corners, at the bottom, or at the very end, you can have a picture come up when all the information is off of there. So I can show you guys how to do that. We're going to find a picture that is plantation. We'll find a picture of a cotton field. Let's see. This is only giving me homes. Let's do plantations 1800s. Okay, this is a decent one. So right click. Copy image, go back to my PowerPoint, and then I'm going to press Control V to paste the image on there. And then I'm going to make it extremely big, and then go to Insert, Animation, and I'm going to change it from a fade in to a fly out of top. And it's going to happen on the click. So let's watch all of the animations for the slide. Oh, hold up. Let's try that again. So the flying from the top is not going to work. Let's change it to up here, and let's see how that works. All right, there we go. Line by line. And see, it's very good that you also, when you're adding animations, that you check on those animations by playing the play stop thing to make sure it's going in order. So everything happened how I wanted it to, and I'm done with that. Now, look up here, all changes saved in Drive. As you are working, this stuff will auto-save, so you don't have to worry about losing information, okay? Now, go through the same process that I went through. Let's add a slide to help you guys understand the process. So, process for making a fantastic PowerPoint. I'll spell fantastic wrong. Fantastic PowerPoint. Step 1. Look at instructions on the slide. 2. Figure out which PDF gives you that information. Information is on the side. After you figure out which one gives you that information, read the PDF, and as you come to the correct information, go back and type it in the slide. After you type the information in the slide, well, while you're doing that, be sure that you delete all the instructions on the slide. You only want information in complete sentences on the slide and no instructions. All right, after I did all of that, so look at the instructions on the slide, figure out which PDF gives you that information that matches the instructions, and then, let me add that, matches instructions. Then you're going to read the PDF, and as you come to the correct information, go back to the PowerPoint and type that information in. Delete the instructions on the slide before you type in the information, and only put the information in complete sentences. No instructions should be on the PowerPoint slides. I don't want to see any instructions, okay? Next step. Go back and add color and design, color, design, animations, and pictures to slides. Be sure that you test out any animations you add. Press the yellow play button to test these. All right. Be sure you have words in colors that best work for the background you choose, and do not overcrowd your slides. If you want, try to continue information on a different slide. All right, so you can add as many slides as you want to. Just be sure you already have those different slides that are given to you, the different ranching, farming, work in industry, transportation, communication, everyday life. Make sure you still have those slides that are required, but you can add extra slides. You can do slides that only have pictures, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you are not taking away from what is already required of you. And when you are done, you need to go back and delete this slide and this slide, okay? So what I'm going to do, because everybody has different circumstances with getting this work done, I'm going to extend the deadline for you guys for when this PowerPoint is due, because I want you to do a really great job on it. Okay, extend the deadline. I'll put it in Google Classroom what that extension date will be. But please, 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 if you've already turned in your PowerPoint, please take that back and spice it up a little bit. Okay, thanks.